So from the inside, it'll be Villanova, Oklahoma State, Indiana, Arkansas, BYU, Virginia Tech, and then Michigan, Washington, Boise State, Kansas, Wisconsin, and Oregon.
And many of these runners have run either the 800, the mile, or had just run the 5,000 earlier. So a lot of these women doubling back in a very short amount of time, and this is an important race.
The women of Arkansas have a team in here. They are the overwhelming favorites to win the overall team title on the women's side unless they have a complete meltdown. And this is where they could really get the ball rolling to a large degree. They've already got a 4th place finish, I believe, in the pentathlon earlier. And here they have the DMR.
Excuse me, Dwight, just in case the relay cards weren't given to us in order, sometimes the relay order of the women have changed. They've either substituted somebody in that was going to run 1,000 or the 800, so we'll keep you as up to date as possible on who's running what for who.
Yes, we are giving you the names as we have them written on the sheet that we were given earlier today. So for Villanova, this is supposed to be Rachel MacArthur, the sophomore. And for Oregon, with 12 on her hip, Taylor Chiotti, the freshman.
Remember, if they are running in order, that is going to be anchored by Jessica Hull. And don't count out the Ducks ever in this race. BYU, Michigan, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Indiana all have faster times than Oregon, but they always seem to come through in this distance medley relay and just run a great race.
Well, plus they held their stud out of the mile in order for her to anchor this DMR.
They did. Jessica Hull, one of the fastest milers in the country, and did not run in the mile earlier because she's running the 3,000 tomorrow, and she should be anchoring the distance medley relay for Oregon tonight.
For Michigan, that is Alice Hill, the sophomore, the tall runner with the yellow ribbon in her hair, currently in, well, about to be 4th now. Has passed by Oklahoma State into 3rd. BYU in on the rail. A little bunched up for 3 laps having been gone, or 4 laps, I should say, having been gone.
Earlier in Seattle, Oklahoma State ran 10:55.93. That was number 2nd in the country at the time. They could be a sleeper team in this distance medley relay.
Well,
can't miss
right
them.
Out there.
Yeah, they are. Wearing hip number 2, currently in 3rd. You can't miss her. Black with the orange bottoms.
And the black headband.
Absolutely. I like a little track and field fashion.
Now starting to string things out a little bit as we come up with 1 lap remaining in this opening 1,200-meter leg of the distance medley relay. Villanova in the lead currently with Rachel MacArthur with a little gap there. Back to 2nd place for BYU, Whitney Orton. And with Oklahoma State, that's supposed to be Molly Shugru.
It is Molly Shugru.
So those 3 have separated themselves a little bit, and they will pass the baton to their quarter milers for 2 laps of this oval. BYU passes off first, followed by Villanova and Oklahoma State.
Navigating the traffic on these passes from a slower type of race, like the 1,200 to the 400, always gets dicey, but that one was clean.
For BYU, that is supposed to be Elena Ellsworth. And for Villanova, Amari Onik Shabazz.
And Oklahoma State, Nicolette Dixon in the black and orange.
Some things tightening up a little bit amongst 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Here comes Oregon.
For Oregon, Mackenzie Dunmore running a great leg for the Ducks and getting them into 3rd as they pass the baton to the 800-meter leg.
Mackenzie Dunmore is a fantastic 400-meter runner for the Ducks. And even though they weren't one of the top favorites in here, they have currently the 7th fastest time in the country. country. They are always a sleeper team in this race.
Well, we know that those 400 and 800 meter legs don't really have that much of an impact. It's the anchor. Any good anchor can bring them back. We saw that with Carissa Schweitzer when she ran anchor for Missouri.
Mackenzie Dunmore pulled Oregon into third with a 52-89 unofficial split on that 400.
And Oregon remains in third, followed by Oklahoma State. It is still BYU up front, followed by Villanova. Two laps remaining on this 800 meter leg. Still BYU, followed by Villanova. Oregon now tightening things up with Susan Ijori, who we saw go down earlier, I believe, in the heats.
Susan Ijori slowly making the perfect pass on that straightaway. She was very patient on that last curve, and this is where now she's just got to tuck in. Tuck back in and don't try to pass on this curve right there. See how they get tripped up? You've got to make sure you give yourself enough room so that you're not running way out in lane 2, but you're staying in lane 1 and making the pass on the straight.
Ijori into first place for the Ducks, and BYU and Villanova fighting over second and third.
And you're right, Susan Ijor from Oregon, who has just put the Ducks in front, did go down earlier, and you can see there's a huge bandage on her right shoulder that's actually coming off, and you can see the track burn on the back of her shoulder. Ouch, look.
And she ran hard the first 3 laps, and she's starting to pay for it. BYU's going to swing back into the lead, but only barely as they pass off. Who's going to do the better baton pass?
Well, here comes Jessica Hull.
And she's right there. BYU and Oregon. For BYU, Erica Burke, and for Oregon, Jessica Hull. For Villanova, Nicole Hutchinson. For Oklahoma State, Sinclair Johnson.
Watch how smart Jessica Hull will run this last lap. She'll sit right on Burke's shoulder. She won't panic. Even if Burke goes out, Jessica likes to sit there and stalk people, and she has got an incredible kick. Very comfortable. Look at her stride length, both of these women, but look at Jessica Hull's stride length. She's very relaxed. She's got a little bit more of that front side running mechanics than Kirk does. That knee lift up in the front versus running and having your ankles come up in the back behind your knee. That just makes you run more efficient when you have that better front side running mechanics.
But this pace is letting other teams back into this race. Now Arkansas is in the mix. By the way, just by way of information, Jessica Hull at Oregon, also from Australia. And now we've got 7 teams that are absolutely in contention here. That's what I'm telling you. The 400 and 800 legs just don't mean that much.
And Jessica Hull was tired of that slower pace.
Taking the lead over BYU's Erica Burke.
Burke went with her. As soon as Hull made the move, Burke went ahead, and you saw her change of pace in her stride length. She went right with her. You almost just saw a second gear. You have to do that at this point in the race. There's only 5 laps to go.
They're lapping the Boise State runner.
Here's the thing about Jessica Hull right now. She's completely fresh. She has not run 1 second on this track tonight. She will be in the 3,000 tomorrow, but she is completely fresh for this mile leg.
5 laps remaining. It is Oregon, followed by BYU, Villanova, Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Those are your top 5. 4 laps remaining. They turned the counter very late.
This next 400 is where you will see the speed start to build back up, especially with somebody like Jessica Hull. Arkansas coming back in with Taylor Werner. We've talked about Taylor Werner all year long, fourth from the back in the all black. Those uniforms are throwing me off. They're usually white. Taylor Werner right there in the all black. Taylor Werner has been an absolute stud for Arkansas all year. She has won 3,000s, 5,000s all year, and she is finally healthy. She has ridiculous speed. If there's anybody in this field that can challenge Jessica Hull, it's Taylor Werner from Arkansas.
She's also fresh. She did not run earlier.
Nope.
And they're all bunched up now. Jessica Hull has plenty of running left in her, but she's got plenty of company.
And now she's doing the cardinal sin by giving up that inside to Burke. You don't want to have to do that. Hug that rail. There's no need to run out in lane 1. Get inside and hug that rail, because if you do get in traffic when you go to pass, this is where spikes get caught in other people's legs and you get tripped up.
Hull took a little bit of a breather for one lap, but now she's pretty close to having just one gear left, and she hasn't dropped everybody yet. Werner, I'm expecting to be a little bit more in contention at this point. Burke is really the only one that's been able to hang on.
Yeah, Burke has done a really good job. These two women just switching lead to lead as we go into the final 200 meters. I don't like Jessica Hull's position. She's got to come in on that rail, because Burke will sneak up on that inside lane.
And it's going to get dicey as they come up on passing other runners too, especially in this turn.
You got to pass on a corner, and that's always brutal.
Jessica Hull's in full flight. Erica Burke trying to close the gap, but it's going to be Hull and Oregon winning the distance medley relay, as so often they do, coming in not with the best time, a good time, but not the best time, and then walking away from the title. Or walking away with the title, I should say.
Wow.
Michigan set their time on an oversized track, but still, they were nowhere to be found.
How about that?
10:53.43, that's the best time amongst collegians. That'll end up being the best time, because this is the last indoor event of the season.
First exchange from the 1,200 meter leg to the 400 meter leg. Look at the grimaces on these women's faces. And this gets dicey, just navigating this traffic, because you're 7 women across, and then you have to look out, just like the BYU runner in Oklahoma State did. You've got to look out so you make sure you don't impede the exchanges. And then the second from the 400 to the 800. Mackenzie Dunmore did a fantastic job of pulling Oregon into 3rd place and setting up the 1,600 meter leg for Jessica Hull, for Kirk. Both women just getting it done. Jessica Hull ran a really smart race, as she always does. Oregon can never be counted out in this race. Surprisingly, they had never won a DMR until NCAA's last year, but they make it 2 in a row.
But we've seen them do it in the 4x4. Yeah. They're in the first section or the second section, and come back and have the fastest time.
Beating people by an eyelash.
Yeah, they get ready for the big ones, no question about it.
Congrats for the Ducks. Robert Johnson has done a fabulous job with his relays.
And that winning time by the Oregon Ducks, the number 8 time in collegiate history, 10:53.43. BYU, very game run by the Cougars in second. Oklahoma State, the Cowboys come up for 3rd place, and our John Anderson is downstairs with a winning team.
All right, thank you, Dwight. First, I just want to show you Susan's shoulder from her fall in the mile. How did you come back from that?
I just stayed positive, and yeah, I knew I had another race, so yeah, I just had to come back and just staying positive. That's all.
Very good. Like it to tough it out. How about your leg? Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. I just knew I had to get up there and put myself in it and just be aggressive right off the line, so I could get in the best position I could and really run it through and give it my all.
You were behind. You didn't have to run long, but you made up a lot of ground. Talk about your 400.
What time was my 400? I don't know. But
Thanks, Mel.
yeah, it was fast and tired. But you know, I told the girls, you know, we're gonna come out here and win, hold the title, and that's what we came here to do, and we worked hard for it. We went back in practice after we qualified for UW at our last meet. So yeah.
The back half of that was always the toughest, and then you get the joy of taking the baton across your mile. You were in control the whole time. Your thoughts about leading from the front?
Yeah, I
wasn't quite sure what to do scenario-wise. We kind of thought we would just be in the thick of it the whole time, so I just listened to my coach on the backstretch, and when she said to go, I think I had like 5.5 laps to go, I was like, okay, and just, I knew she trusted that I would take over, just like pinching, so yeah, I can't believe it. I'm so proud.
We'll let you celebrate. Go ahead. The Ducks, DMR champs. You know, that's the DMR is the Super Bowl of distance coaches' seasons, and the Ducks will take it home to Eugene again.